Hello, everybody. This is Tony Ruggiero here. Thanks for tuning in, downloading, and listening to the Tour Coach. We're rolling through another crazy summer right now, another crazy season. There's lots of golf, lots of guys playing, lots of camps, lots of retreats, lots of travel. You know what that means? It means lots of great content coming to you. So thank you, whether you're a golf instructor, like so many folks that reach out and listen to this podcast, or you're an aspiring golfer, somebody just loves learning about the game, loves learning about how to get better. Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Tour Coach, because we've got lots of great content coming for you, okay? And if you like the Tour Coach, you're going to love Pro Work on YouTube. I want to remind all of you, if you haven't seen it, go to Bushnell Golf on YouTube or go to @TheDewSweeper on my YouTube channel and listen to, watch Inside the Ropes, behind the scenes with myself, Colby Touye, Mark Hackett, and a host of others. And you'll see what it's like to be a player of all different abilities, and watch how our team approach goes behind the scenes, inside the ropes, to find out exactly what the magic that your golf swing needs to pick up 10, 15, 20 yards or lower your handicap or get all the way out onto the PGA Tour. It's all there for you on Pro Work, just like it is here on the Tour Coach. So thanks for listening. We've got some great content coming. We've got some great discussions, some great roundtables, and some great guests coming your way this summer and this season here on the Tour Coach. And I couldn't do this Tour Coach without the following sponsors. They've been loyal to me. I'm loyal to them. I think it's one of the missing things in instruction and in our world, people that stick together, and I think that's why we've all had so much success. I've got to thank the folks at Bushnell Golf for their support and their sponsorship of this show, my teaching, as well as the Pro Work series. Vineyard Vines and the folks there, unbelievable. They keep all the dew sweepers looking good, myself as good as you can, and all of the folks at our retreats, and especially Shrixon and Cleveland Golf, Chip Holcomb, Eddie Dry, and all of the folks there. I mean, we couldn't do it without it. It's over 20 years I've been with Shrixon Cleveland Golf. I'm not going anywhere without that. Mason Prang and the folks over there in California take such good care of us. They've got the best product that you can find anywhere. So special thanks to Shrixon Cleveland Golf. And then finally, my good friend Mitch McConnell and the folks at McConnell Automotive, Buick GMC here in Mobile, and Buick GMC for sponsoring the radio and everything that we've been going on for all of these years. So we've got great sponsors. We've got great partners. And we're going to give you great content that's going to help all of you play better, enjoy the game better, or understand how to teach it and communicate it better. Sit back, get yourself a beverage, and enjoy the Tour Coach. And then when you get a chance, go check out Pro Work on my YouTube. You'll be glad you did. All right, so we're back here on the Tour Coach. Illustrious cast, U.S. Open week from our palatial estate in Brady. Where are we?
We're in West L.A.
West L.A. Eric Larson hosting us here. Unbelievable place. Elar, couldn't imagine a better place. Why are they laughing at me?
That's the world's worst introduction.
It is. It is. So all right. So we got a lot of people here. All right. So we're talking. JP, go ahead and tell us what we're talking about tonight. Because you've changed the topic 6 times on Matthew.
Well, we were going to talk about whether the players in this era are better or worse than the players in the era gone by, but then we thought that's a moot point.
What about like recreational players in different eras? Do you think they're better then or now? Just real quick,
like whether my dad would have played off 7 if he'd been start again.
No, we're not starting again. I mean, we can keep the. The whole purpose of this thing, huh?
I know I would listen to the whole thing.
I know you would. I mean, we got to listen to this. I mean, this is real life. We don't get restarts.
Well, I like the idea of like the best drivers of the golf ball of all time. Like who were
all right? So who were they? Who was your best driver? Norman
best
has to be up there,
players,
right?
Best mid-iron players.
I can tell you that Johnny Miller told me he played with Norman in Australia when Norman was 20 or whatever.
Before the PIF.
And Miller, who was about as good a ball hitter as you'll find, said that Norman was the greatest driver of the ball he's ever seen. I mean, pulled driver on a narrow little fairway where Miller wouldn't hit driver, and just pulled it out and pipelined it with persimmon.
But Butch would have said that to me. Best straightest and longest hitter of a golf ball that he'd ever seen was Greg Norman. We're singing Greg Norman's praises here, but people are.
He
brilliant,
needs a little love right now. To be fair,
needs a little love.
He's had a rough couple of weeks.
He doesn't need any money, but he needs a little.
No, but he needs a little.
And he
love.
went from persimmon
All
to
you need
metal.
is love.
And he still drove the absolute piss out of it, as you would say, Tony. He went from like a McGregor persimmon driver, like his mentor Jack Nicklaus, to a Cobra metal driver with a steel shaft in it.
That Cobra driver
and
was
he
hot.
Ripped it. So Eric Larson, best drivers of the ball of all time.
Yeah, and HD too. You guys, you're out there every week. Best drivers y'all have seen. Eli, you started.
Well, I mean, I was fortunate enough to be in the group with Norman. I did see him drive it, and obviously he was very, very good.
I like the late night chat show host.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
I feel like we need to get you a velvet outfit.
Well, these Cheech and Chong cruise shoes, they do work, and I am an investor, so.
Please.
Anyways.
Everybody out there, buy.
Please do.
Buy Cheech and Chong's cruise shoes if you're over 21 in a state that it's legal.
It's legal in a lot of states. It's all good. But back to the best driver of the ball. Tommy Chong is a good driver of the ball.
It's a high fade.
Most nights.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. HG, go ahead.
I would say in the 24 years of me caddying, obviously, Tiger. But other than him, I would sneak Sergio Garcia in there. Every time that I was paired with Sergio, I think driving the golf ball, the times that I saw him, how it was so impressive. Obviously, Norman, I didn't get a chance. I mean, I watched him when I was still trying to play and stuff like that professionally. But I would say in the years of me caddying, I would say Sergio to me was, other than Tiger, I think he was the most impressive driver of the golf ball.
I mean, the two people I've been around where other players have said how impressive, and I think Bill said this to you and I, Jackson, once, was one of the only people he'd ever played with, and it was at Wells Fargo, was Rory. When Rory's driving it good, he said it was one of the most impressive things he's ever seen. And I had another player say DJ. When DJ's playing well, DJ's driving is otherworldly. So those were the two I would go to. Matthew?
I can say one more thing. The club I play at in Connecticut is Brooklawn, and we had the Senior Women's Open a couple years ago. Not yet. In her heyday and at Brooklawn, Laura Davies is an amazing driver of the golf ball. And to watch,
She used to put it on
yeah, and I mean, you took the words out of my mouth. At a place where I play, and I know where I hit it, and I know where the good players in my club play it. For a player over 50, to watch her work her way around that golf course and follow her around, and to do that, make a divot, put the ball up there, and just smash it and drive it on the green. She's a terrific driver of the golf ball for sure.
Hall of Famer?
In my Hall of Fame, yes.
Yes.
You're a little more stringent in your rules.
No, you're way more strict. I mean, I have people nobody else would put
fairway
in.
wood player, T.
Best fairway wood player. Me. From 170.
No, not a 7 wood. No, I'm talking about like a 3 wood or a 5 wood from 265.
I mean, not to talk about a sponsor, but I would hit my Zexio 7 wood from there.
You chip with it.
No, not 165 T, 265.
Oh. So I'd lay up. But
I'll take this one then as the
you start. I mean,
Miguel Angel Jimenez for a
just say that again.
Miguel Angel Jimenez for the American public.
Played.
The guy with the cigar.
I played blackjack with him one night in Biloxi.
Incredible fairway wood player. Like hits so many shots, 3 woods, 5 woods, hits him on the green, hits him to 15 feet. Montgomery, probably in Europe. incredible fairway wood player. Sweepers, both sweepers, not very steep players, which obviously lends itself well to hitting fairway woods well. But that is a very specific skill. Brian Harman is an incredible fairway wood player. Again, another very shallow kind of hitter of the golf ball. You put Brian in the fairway from 245, and Harris, Eric's sometimes Harris could be hitting a 4-iron and Brian hitting a 5-wood. And that seems like a disadvantage, but for him, he can hit those really well. So I'd be interested, Henry HD, if you knew anyone else who was really up on that list.
I would say Henrik Stenson.
Oh yeah,
3-wood. I mean, he made a living or a career, in my opinion. Or obviously had the complete game, but I would say Henrik Stenson, fairway woods. Obviously, 3-woods, and Tim Clark. Tim Clark was a remarkable fairway wood player, hybrid player. Incredible from 220 to 250. Tim could hit his.
Well, a ton of tournaments that couldn't chip.
Well, won the Players. Had a remarkable career. And
his wrist, or something with the wrist, or something.
I believe
a bone deformity in his wrist. And he couldn't.
Did he not use the long putter as well, or?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
You probably named 20 women on the LPGA Tour that are better hybrid and fairwood hitters than most men.
Yes, for sure.
Inbee Park comes to mind. Somebody who's not super long but is hitting a lot of fairway woods, and she's fantastic. And to Justin's part, a point about sweepers, not digging, picking it off the top of the grass. She's phenomenal. Probably better than my wedge, which is depressing, but yeah, it's a little depressing. Not as good as Tony's wedge because he draws it.
Long iron
hook it.
Long iron players, Brady.
But before you
Hold on,
before you get to that, the most famous fairway wood shot in my lifetime was Corey Pavin at Shinnecock.
Yes.
Because he had to hit it.
That's what I was going to say.
He had to hit a fairway wood. And
Was that when he had those VAS Cleveland irons, or was that after?
that was one of the first tournaments I covered, and I watched him. I watched Norman zip that high spin ball he played off the par 3
Tour edition,
and then Pavin hit that forward on the green.
Same thing I was going to say, Corey Pavin. It's a great call.
That's what I'm going to go with.
yeah,
Long iron, you said?
long iron.
Nobody hits them anymore because they don't have to, but Hale Irwin I'll go with from generation gone by. But high, soft, left to right. Pretty good. He wasn't bad. Won a couple times.
You go with. For me, it would. Obviously Nicklaus. Johnny Miller, those guys. I don't think you think of many great long iron players in the tour today because they don't have to do it.
Tiger's stinger with the 3-iron off the tee is a pretty dominant shot. I'm going with Tiger.
Yeah, that's probably a good safe call. Probably a good safe call to take Tiger on any of these topics.
The boys would, having spent a bit of time with the South African players, they always, they're all really good ball strikers and, longish off the tee.
Is that indigenous to that area?
It seems to be, Tony. They seem to eat meat. I don't know. Not that veganism is wrong. But,
so we probably tonight with the steaks we cooked have grown some good long iron players.
Possibly. But Louis and the boys would say Schwartzel, and I was fortunate enough to work for Charles for a couple of years, and whenever Charles Schwartzel would hit a 3-iron 4, like off, 225, 245, like up in the air from a downslope, he could do that kind of thing, and that was fun to watch him do that. He could put a certain kind of hit on it that a lot of people couldn't do. But I think Tiger would have been the same, like those big high wide kind of swingers, and Schwartzel could certainly shift it from that sort of part of the world.
I may be biased, but Harris English is one of the best long iron players I've seen, and I've worked for him. But he's hit some.
It's okay to be biased, Elar.
He's hit some unbelievable shots with that 3-iron. One particularly coming to mind. We needed a birdie 18 at Plantation Course in Maui, and he goes, "You like 3-iron?" I said, "I love 3-iron," and he hit this beautiful 3-iron about 6-7 feet. We missed the putt, but we got in the playoff. We won the tournament, and he hit the 3-iron again on the next playoff hole.
Did you read the putt pretty well? Was it a
No, I
missed
didn't
putt?
read the putt very good.
Okay, just trying to get you in trouble here while we're here. We won't publish it till like Saturday. So
Please, yeah. I don't read a whole lot of putts anymore. But anyways, he made double eagle on number 11 with the 3-iron Players Championship. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, same 3-iron. That 3-iron's been around, but he's hit a lot of really good shots today. He hit a beautiful shot with it. You weren't there, but.
Yeah, because
I saw it.
Yeah, it's because he's too busy taking care of all his players.
We're going to go with Harris English. I am. Anyways.
HD?
Top long iron players.
I would definitely. I mean, I don't think you could deny Tiger Woods being the greatest long iron player, greatest iron player in my opinion. So I'm going to still stick with Tiger, and even a homer on St. Simon's. But even when Davis Love III came out, he was the king of the 1-iron and how well he could hit his long irons, and with the upright golf swing that he had, and when he came out and how much speed he generated. I thought Davis, he hit his long irons as great as anybody.
Mid-irons tee, your turn.
I'm going to tell you, a guy that I spent a bunch of time around who was an unbelievable mid-iron player and to short iron player, incredible ball striker, was Lucas Glover. Could really, really, really hit 5, 6, 7, 8 irons. They were pretty to watch. They were really smashed, tight draws, could hold that against the wind. He could straighten it out to where it didn't. I mean, his fade was a 5-yard draw, right? Could really, really, was a really good iron player. That was one of the, like you talk about, or I mentioned earlier, like Rory Drive and DJ. There's not many people where you would watch somebody hit an iron and the sound was different. He was one of those people I've been around where I would say it was impressive to watch him as an iron player.
I think you qualify as the best middle iron player if the quality of your middle iron play drove you insane. And Johnny Miller, I did a book project with him, and he opened the drawer of his little file cabinet, and in that peak time when he was winning everything out west, he tracked sort of like early PGA Tour stats. He wrote down the result of every shot he hit during a season. He'd get done with a round, he'd go back and write down the club he used, where it went, how far left to right it was offline. And for 3 years, from 70 to 73, his average middle iron shot was 3 feet offline for 3 years. And that's pretty stout. So, I mean, when you're asking the caddy for yardage and half yards and you're hitting it on average 3 feet offline, he literally drove him. His putting was so bad, and he hit so many greens that it drove him insane because he missed. He would shoot 65 and feel like he left him out there because he missed so many putts.
Well, I'm not sure I can compete with that, but I helped Darren
Go
Koert
ahead,
for a couple
though.
of years. I'm not. I won't compete with that, but Darren was always a terrific ball striker. Even Butch would have said in his sort of top 5 people who could control the golf ball. And oftentimes when you go out with Darren on the golf course, he'd have 138 yards to back fly to hit an 8-iron, and he could hit a pitching wedge over the back of that. But he would flight little shots in and turn them in and move them around. And I always thought that was a really cool kind of story to tell younger golfers, that it's not always the yardage you can hit a club, it's how well you can control the ball, how well you can control the flight, and Darren was one of the best at that.
Brady?
Well, just to mix it up, I watched Jin Young Ko play last week. She hit 63 greens in a row a couple years ago. She's a phenomenal iron player. I mean, she's a great ball striker overall, but she also can move it both ways, and control trajectory and distance was spot on. I mean, she shot 1 over the first round at Liberty National and hit 16 greens and should have shot 8 under. Just missed everything in sight. But she's consistently week in and week out.
Jackson just sent her an email about helping her putting while we were talking.
She might need the help.
What about AK?
Yeah, I mean, he had all the shots. Fortunately, he didn't have the longevity, but yeah, I mean, when AK was on, he was tough to beat.
Did he move it? Did he move it much?
Yeah,
in the air?
yeah, he could move it up and down. I mean, he hit it low, hit it high, cut it, draw it. He had all the shots.
Did you ask him to do that, or was it just the way he saw it?
He saw it. Yeah, he saw it.
Was it true that he had to aim at flags, like couldn't aim away?
Most of the time. I mean, he wouldn't listen sometimes, and I'd say, let's hit it over here. And he's like, eh. And then he'd hit it at the flag, and he's like, yeah, I felt pretty good over that. But, yeah, remarkable player.
All right, I guess we got to do short irons and wedges now.
I think we're all the wedges.
To wedges. All right, JP, lead us off with your wedge player.
I think modern day Justin Thomas impresses me with his wedges. The speed that he can control hasn't been as good lately, obviously, but incredible player. Stricker, Lars, you worked with Steve a couple of times.
Steve, yeah.
Tell us a wee bit about Stricker and his wedges.
So I worked for Steve a few times, and we were at the Memorial, and we were practicing before the round in that little short game area, and it was like a 50-yard shot, and he holed it, and then the next day we were doing the same thing, kind of in our warm-up, and he holed another one, similar spot, and the third day we hit 10, 15 balls, and he holed another one. I said, Steve, whoa, is this like normal? I said, do you draw every little? He goes, yeah, I just kind of hit a little draw in there, and that's what I do. And I said, wow, okay. And we proceeded in the tournament to have to make birdie on the last hole and to make the cut. We did, and we didn't have a wedge in the 18, but, I mean, he played very well and finished, whatever he finished, 25th or something. But, yeah, I saw some very amazing shots with the wedges with Steve Stricker.
Go ahead, HD.
I would agree with you, Larson, with Strick. He was just incredible in controlling the distance, speed, flight, all that stuff. He was as good as anybody I've seen. And I would say Zach Johnson. Zach was remarkable with the wedge in his hand. And he had to be. Absolutely, Matt. So I would say those two guys, to me, Zach Johnson and Strick were probably the two best wedge players I saw. They just controlled the spin so well, the trajectory day in and day out when you played with them, and it was just fun to watch.
Matthew,
I would say two, and this is my take. My take is a little different. It's not so much a tournament take; it's being on instruction shoots and watching people do things over and over again in the purpose of for the purpose of getting photographs. Mickelson is an unbelievable short iron player, especially when it's just screw around time. When it's not tournament stakes. Where I've watched him bet photographers, or how many of these do I need to hit before I hole one out? What kind of odds would you give me? And the first one hits the pin.
So you're saying he likes to go?
He does, and Jordan Spieth is pretty fantastic with a short iron, and especially visualizing shots, hitting them under a branch. Mickelson's that same way. I feel like with those guys, if you gave them a shovel and you said, "Here's 20 balls on the ground, use the shovel to hit it," it's not even so much specifically the technique they use; it's the way they're able to take the tool and make the ball do what they want.
Agree with that. I mean, it'd be hard to leave Tiger off that list. I mean, you could probably put him at the top of all of them, but agree. Like JT, I've been fortunate enough to times at Bears and the times with Tom Lovelady staying with him, be around him. For the modern day, I think his ability to hit, to me, wedge shots where he takes big turns without a lot of speed, where he hits these incredibly soft shots, the way they kind of just come off soft, like poof, right? And they're in there, is to me really different than the way a lot of guys hit it nowadays. So, JT's really impressive to me. And, Lee Trevino going back in the day, way back when I was a kid, I was at a Champions Tour event in Houston and was around, in San Antonio when I was in college. And before that, I was around Doug Sanders. I watched Doug Sanders hit some wedges.
Wearing pink?
Yeah, he was wearing pink. He also fell out of a golf cart drunk with a girl on his lap, too. But that's another podcast. But because it happens. It does happen. But he was an unbelievable wedge player. I actually drank a drink with him at T-Bone's one time in Augusta during Masters Week.
That's why they make you sign the waiver.
Yeah, I have an NDA. But anyways, I thought, but I was a young kid then, but I was amazed by how he wedged it because it was so creative. Like, it wasn't like today everybody got him the same. He kind of he sauteed himself in there and shuffled with the pink pants, the girl, and he wedged it. It was beautiful.
I think that might be code.
That's code. Was
Short game bunkers.
No, let's go to
How can I really follow that?
No, I mean, was I off track on that? Any of that?
I don't really even know what track you're on, to be honest. But I mean,
neither does my wife.
I was going to say, Faldo, but talk about uninteresting after Tony's description of Doug Sanders there. But I mean,
hit us with short game bunkers, pitching.
Got a feeling people didn't like my Doug Sanders thing.
I was impressed. I mean, Gary Player probably for bunkers still to this day. I mean, I think he I watched him do a video on how to hit a 50-yard bunker shot into a green. He said use a 9-iron, open it up, and hit it normal and just blast it out. And I swear I've done that for 25 years now and taught it, and it works beautifully. So he was innovative and interesting and, special. So I'll go with Gary Player.
Can I, before we go to Jackson, go back to the wedge thing and throw one other name out here from the past? You guys will know him, but was amazing for a short period of time with his wedges because he could hit them this high spinning, was Nolan Hankey. I taught Nolan for a while late in his career, and it was late. And, he didn't know how he did it or what he did. But his wedge game, he's also a Jingle Bell Classic champion for those of you that listen that know. But he also, his wedge game was phenomenal. And even late, he would, he hit a bunch of not great shots for a tour player, a guy trying to find it, getting ready to turn 50. But he'd hit these wedge shots out of nowhere that were like some of the most amazing wedge shots from like 80 yards and 70 yards and 110 that you'd ever seen that would come in different trajectories. What's that? Jackson, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Got on my Nolan Hankey train.
Wedges, Jordan Spieth, he hoops it from everywhere, which I think is incredible. Like, he makes it from all over the place. And back up, one iron player, too, that I think is impressive is Hideki. I think Hideki's a really good short iron player.
He plays the Shricks on ball.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
I write Stan Utley stuff in Golf Digest I have for almost 20 years, and the ability to
Shameless plug.
Well, the ability to take a short iron and just
does the piff on
we did a story where we put the ball in the parking lot and he hit it off pavement. We put it in the desert and he hit it out of the desert. And it's one of those things where the guy just has I know how to put the club on the ball and make it go where I want. It's
sounds good.
Yeah, it's crazy. More short game, right?
We're short game.
Tiger learned every shot he knows from Jose Maria Olazabal. I mean, if you take one of the best short game players ever and then quadruple it with arguably the best player ever.
Well, Butch told me he had 8 grips around the green whenever, Tiger, when he was at his best. And Butch learned a lot from Jose. And, so, I think that era were amazing. I mean, it's obviously Seve handed that down to Jose. I think we're probably all still digesting that.
How could nobody have put Seve in there?
No, I mean, Seve was the master of it all. But I don't think Seve was ever able to really document what he was doing. Right. There's a really cool thing on Instagram or on YouTube you can look at. It was filmed at Emirates Golf Club in Dubai, and Seve was trying to articulate what he was doing with different shots, which he did a pretty good job of in broken English.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Butch probably interpreted what Seve did and what Jose did in English, and then delivered that to Tiger to some degree. And certainly Tiger at that point had a very versatile short game.
I think the Seve piece with the short game or with the wedges and irons, And I mean, you guys would know in terms of caddying, the bravery to try. I mean, Sevy had the bravery to try any shot at any time if it was the shot to hit. And I'm sure you guys, there's a difference between caring for someone that is willing to try the shot that's required versus saying, I'm going to pick the much more conservative shot that's going to have fewer potential negative outcome.
I followed a lot of golf in the 80s when Sevy was playing and Ken Green, and I got my opportunity to caddy for Ken Green full-time for 5 years starting in 1991. So I got to see one of the best short games that I consider on the PGA Tour in the world, but Ken Green. Bunker play, short game. We've been paired with Sevy. I've seen them both. Obviously, Sevy's definitely one of the best, but Ken Green is one of the best that I've seen as well to this day.
In my life, I mean, I always idolized Sevy, with his hands, and growing up with a 56, never a 60, and I probably to backtrack a little bit. I heard an amazing stat. Dr. Rotella, I was talking to him one time, and he was telling me he was working with Tom Kite, and I believe it was 1981 when he was the leading money winner, and he finished top 10 21 out of 28 weeks, and he kept stats, and I believe he was 73% inside of 125 yards for the season. And I think that's remarkable that a guy, obviously his career and how steady he was, but I thought that was a sick stat that a guy could get the golf ball up and down from that distance for the season.
He was also, during a stretch of 3 to 5 years, Kite was the leader in birdies on par fives, and he was one of the shorter hitters out there, which, like, nowadays that'd be so stupid, whatever. But, like, that's impressive. That shows you how good a wedge player he was.
So Zach Johnson won his Masters,
right,
laying up on every par five and wedging it close.
All right, so we're down to putting. Putting, last one of the night. Best putters of all time. Go ahead and start us off, Matt. Everybody knows who I'm going with.
Is it going to be Nolan Henke?
No. I would not go with Nolan, and I'm going to pull somebody out of the way back a little bit, but it won't be Doug Sanders.
Are you going to keep us in suspense, or you want to?
Go ahead. You go.
I mean, there's all the usual suspects. I mean, people are going to say Lauren Roberts. They're going to say Crenshaw, and
I'm going with Crenshaw.
I mean, I don't know. I'm torn about that because to me, I think the metric you want is putting when it matters, and I don't think anyone's ever made more putts when it matters than Tiger. I mean, and I think when you have it, whether it's in the Rocco Mediate U.S. Open, when playing on a broken leg and you need to make the putt on a bumpy green at Torrey Pines, or how many of us have watched Tiger on TV miss the huge short putt that you just had to make? It just hasn't. I mean, in our lifetime watching him, it just hasn't happened. So I'm going to go with Tiger.
I obviously threw Crenshaw in there, but HD, who are we going with?
I'm going to go with Tiger Woods, no doubt. I mean, the magnitude of the putts that he made, the amount of putts, and when you're making that many putts to win, I think you can't deny that he's the greatest putter of all time. And obviously, Jack would argue with me, but I'm going to still go with Tiger over Jack.
Before we go to you, one person I think we left off on chipping and short game is Ray Floyd. I've heard tons of stories, watched stuff being down there at Old Palm. His chipping and the short game stuff's masterful. And I don't know that he gets enough credit. And we were talking about Hall of Fame stuff earlier and all that, but it's impressive. But go ahead now. Sorry to Elar.
Best putters, obviously, that's always going to be an argument, but I like Jack. He made them when he needed to make them, and there's always going to be that argument between him and Tiger. But growing up watching Jack, I'll say Jack.
I think one of the interesting arguments there are players who would not have done anything without their putting. Like I remember Mark McNulty, incredible Zimbabwean player, not a very long hitter,
That's going deeper than Doug Sanders.
But he was an incredible putter. He used a little bullseye putter. He was always around about the top of the putting stats. And I think, it's an interesting part of the game of golf where you can kind of level the playing field a little bit if you can start making a load of putts. And we saw that with Jordan Spieth, who's an incredible putter, from, I guess, what would that have been, 2014 to 2017?
Making 15 to 20 footers.
Intermediate putt, and some of his like 15 to 20 feet stuff was better than the average guy from 5 to 10 feet, which is, that's an incredible leveler of a playing field. So, I'm not saying I'm identifying someone. It's just interesting ways to look at it, and it's also interesting sometimes to think, like, I don't think we've ever seen anyone do that for the entirety of their career. It seems to be a window of time, whether that's eyesight, vision, experience, no idea. So, sorry, Brady, over to you.
No, I think it's a great point. Like, Morris Satowski wouldn't have had a tour card if he couldn't putt.
All right, that's deeper than Doug Sanders.
I tried to go deep.
Mohat. You know Morris Satowski?
Yeah, he led the tour in putting.
You know him, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and then back to the chipping thing real quick. Corey Pavin would have to come to mind too, as another guy like Ray Floyd who was really, really good. But I think it's hard to go against Tiger in this category. Who made more putts?
Yeah.
In our lifetime, he made the biggest putts.
What about LPGA? Since you're obviously.
Indy Park stats are a big deal. She makes everything in sight. She's a phenomenal putter.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate that the LPGA Tour hasn't done a good job keeping their stats because we don't have the data on it that we have on the PGA Tour. They're getting better at it now, but we'll know more in the coming years because they're catching up with strokes gained.
That's good. They need to do that.
They do it. The problem is the caddies are keeping the stats and not necessarily the stats. So, like Minjee Lee's numbers last year that everybody was raving about, because she was beating every PGA Tour player with all the yardages from 100 up to 200. I don't think you can rely on those necessarily because, but you can definitely count 63 greens regulation. So,
Jackson.
Obviously Tiger. Besides Tiger, one of my favorite putters would have been Steve Stricker. I loved watching him roll it. And I think he had a long career of good putting. And that stat Justin Thomas tweeted a while back about him not having a double bogey on tour for like 2 years, I think is impressive and speaks to the strength of his putting.
I can say another shameless plug. I did 3 books with Dave Stockton. And I don't know that Dave Stockton would have won majors or won PGA Tour events without putting. And again, going back to the Seve point, Dave, when we're sitting in his house, he's got every manner of putter you can think, from a zebra to a bullseye, and he would just say, he would randomly grab a different putter and say, today I feel like I'm going to set up open, or I'm going to set up closed. I'm going to put my hands forward. I'm going to put my hands back, to try to get back to the artistry of making putts as opposed to the technical qualities that make for good putting. And I've shot stories with him he was a man in his late 70s, and he's standing there and he's just draining putt after putt after putt. And that's an impressive thing to watch.
This was good. Very good. I'm still a Crenshaw guy on putting. They're making a comeback. They got some lookalikes out there. Guys, thanks. Once again, Elar, HD, thanks for having us in the house this week. I think we got a good chance of not creating some more content this week if JP will put up with me. JP, you're in charge tomorrow of coming up with some good stuff.
Okay, I'll not cook tomorrow. I'll just do the podcast creation. You can cook.
Yeah, Brady, thanks for coming over. Hopefully you'll come hang out more this week.
For sure.
Yep. Matthew?
I'm just waiting for you to use the term hizzle again.
Well, now that we're in the hizzle. And let me just say this. We're going to go out of this, and we're for shiggity going to do it later this week. And I got Matt to spit his wine out for shiggity. I hope you enjoyed this edition of The Tour Coach and this conversation that we brought to you about playing, learning, and teaching the game of golf. We'll be back next week with another edition of The Tour Coach. In between now and next week, make sure you follow us on our social channels. You can always find me at The Dew Sweeper on Instagram, or go to our YouTube page where you'll see a scene and a video from my teachings daily on our YouTube channel. You can find that by looking up Tony Ruggiero and the Dew Sweepers on YouTube. Until then, make sure you follow and check out Everything Tour Coach and all our sponsors, Srixon Cleveland Golf, Bushnell, Vineyard Vines, and Buick GMC. I'll be back next week to help all of us appreciate, learn, and enjoy the game of golf.